Hello and welcome to our shear educational video, and thanks for watching. My name's Gary Gerard. I run an advanced haircutting center in San Francisco, and obviously our tools are very important to us. Today I'd like to take you on a little venture through some wonderful tools that we brought here to share with you. Our first one is our fishbone. This is our V10 Cobalt. Keeps the edge very sharp and stops it from being brittle. And then what you have is a texturizer. Now this is a 10-tooth texturizer. So if you put this in the shaft of the hair or around that area where you want to really put in some wonderful texturizing, this works perfectly for that. This is what we call a butterfly handle. And the reason that we have two handles coming out is so you feel the symmetric feeling about it when you're using your razor. So when you reverse it around, you have the same feeling on the opposite side. It's really a beautiful shear, and I'm going to demonstrate it to you and show you not only the sharpness to it, but the wonderful other features that it has with it. So I'm going to invite Gwen to come on over here. Hi, Gwen. First of all, what I'd like to share with you is the type of cut that we're doing here and the wonderful way that you can apply your shear. I want to also show you a couple interesting techniques in pruning and also as well as slide cutting. Now keep in mind, this is straight hair and it's also dry hair. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come around and I'm going to put it right on the area where I want the cut to start, and as you can see, this just works out absolutely perfect, and how well you can control it. It's a very, very sharp shear. Now all I'm going to do is come down and show you the angle that we cut it. All right. Also, as you're coming around, you want to make sure that when you're palming your shears, you keep the shear up high, all right? So you don't interfere with the razor. Now, in the front, if you're going to do any kind of pruning, the one nice thing about this shear is that it allows you to control how much you're taking off, how much you're leaving on, and gives you wonderful effects on the ends of the hair. You can also come in, as you can see here, I'm taking out just little gaps. You can come in and just slice it out. Now what I'm doing here, which is really interesting with our shear here, I'm going to just put some openings in here and just kind of put some texturizing. Now I'm sliding through dry hair, and this I don't think is pulling. Really shows you how very sharp this shear is, and this is without closing. All right, now I'm going to turn Gwen around here just for a second. I want you to take a look at this top area here. When you're doing any kind of pruning up here, all you want to do is come in at a slight angle and your shear will do all the rest of the work, and you can perfectly see these wonderful openings that this shear can give you. Now, the unusual part of the shear that I think you're going to enjoy a lot as I pick this up, now I'm going to use the razor, and I want to show you a couple little tricks about using the razor portion on this shear. Normally when you pick up a razor, you come in at a 90-degree angle and you start cutting it. I will turn around so the camera can see this. You come in like this here. If you do this, you're going to have to put a lot of pressure onto the hair. Remember, you're cutting dry hair at this point. So what you want to do is you want to have more of a 45-degree angle, as you can see here. All right, now all I'm going to do is come down, and you can obviously see we're taking off some hair. This works out very nicely. I'm using the portion of the razor that is a texturizer, so I'm coming inside opposed to the ends. So all I'm doing is texturizing this hair, and as you do that, you can see the hair that you're cutting. You can take out as much as you like. Be very careful. It's a very sharp shear as well as a razor. Now let's go back in and we'll use the razor effect to it. Now you want to come down to the ends. As you come down here, you can pretty much see, you can take off as much as you would like. So be very careful with it. It'll really do the job for you. You're going to enjoy this shear, and you can pretty obviously see how wonderfully it works. All right, now we're going to get in. I want to show you just how the points and the tips on this works. Let's say you're going to put in a little texturizing in the interior. All you want to do is come in here and use your tips, take some out. Now remember, this is, again, it's dry hair, so you see there's going to be no pulling involved. And all you're going to do is just apply your texturizing. This is a wonderful shear, and it is very sharp. It'll hold this edge for a very long time. And any more information you'd like to have on this shear, you can always go to our website. It'll be posted up at the end of this video. And that's what it's all about. That's the shear. I know that you're all going to enjoy it. I'd like to also add that this is a V10 cobalt steel, and our convex edge down in through here, and the reason it has that convex to it is so it holds a sharper edge for a longer time, and this is the hardest steel you'll find on any shear. Now also I want to add that even though I described that this is a razor and how it functions, whether you're using it as a razor or using it as a texturizer, please don't take this and substitute it for a razor. If you have to do a razor cut, what you want to do is you want to actually pick up a razor and use a razor. But use this as a razor when you're just doing some small little things, some short little areas, and so it'll just save you a lot of time. And as you know, time in a salon is money. So this will save you a lot of time and it'll do a great job for you. So enjoy it, but don't think of it as a razor, okay? With all of that, thank you. Right now I want to share with you one of my very favorite shears that I've been using for an awful long time, but this is a little bit more advanced shear than what I have used, and this is called a swivel shear. I'm sure a lot of you are either swivel users or maybe you've never tried a swivel shear. Well, if you haven't, this might be the shear that you might want to pick up. I want to show you some nice features about it. When I call it a double swivel, it means that not only does it swivel this way here, all right, but it also rocks in your thumb, allowing you a lot more freedom when you're point cutting or doing some of your angle cuts. I'm going to demonstrate this in just a minute, but before that, let me just share a little something with you about what swivels are all about. I want to show you a range of motion here that you'll have with this shear that you could no way do with it with another shear. A straight shear will not ever give you this kind of motion, keeping your thumb in the exact direction that you're seeing it right now. You're going to be doing one of these things here. So it is a very unusual shear. One of the neat things about swivels is if you ever have a problem with your wrist and you got to keep it down and keep it close, your swivel is really going to be your answer. So I want to show you close up, if you want to just bring it in a little bit here, and show you the rocking motion that it has. This allows your thumb to bring your shear for point cutting just perfectly. And then, of course, and people say to me, you know, Gary, I don't think I'll ever get used to a swivel. It just feels kind of weird. Well, my answer to that is don't ever feel you have to get used to your swivel, because a swivel shear will get used to you and how you cut hair. Now, I'm going to bring in my model right now. Now, Lindsay, if you'll step over here, please. Yeah, right here is perfectly. Let me show you something very impressive. As I bring this hair up, and as you do when you're doing short cuts or long cuts, you know, the first thing that we tend to do is come way up here like I'm at right now and start cutting hair. This is where the problem lies. You don't have to be up that far. Watch, I'll stay in the exact same position and bring my wrist all the way down and do that same exact haircut. So not only is it healthy for your body, but it makes life so much more comfortable for you when you're cutting. It gives you a little bit more energy at the end of the day. So a swivel shear is a shear you might really want to consider. And again, make sure you're getting the swivel that has the double swivel to it. All right. Now, let me just show you another wonderful advantage to this. Anytime you're cutting over an ear, usually on a straight shear, and I put it in that position here, you come up in a position like this and you come around like that. Very uncomfortable. So what this allows you to do, and I'm going to just bring down that earlobe just a slight bit. As I'm cutting, you can notice that right now, not only am I not having to bend my arm, but you can do your cut perfectly here without any bending at all of your wrist and get the job done. Let me kind of go around and give you an idea. So here it is, going around, going around, going around, and you're still staying in the same position. Very comfortable. So don't rule it out and don't think it's a strange thing, because I'll tell you something, swivels are wonderful and they're becoming more popular as we go along. This is also a cobalt shear with the hardest steel. It's a V10 cobalt steel as well. It allows it not to be so brittle. So not only when you get it sharpened, you keep a good edge, but if you drop it or put it on a hard surface, it won't chip. So there's some really nice qualities about it. So all you're doing again is coming in. Now let's just work with this point to show you how wonderful sharp this is. I want to put in just a couple little openings in through here. So I'm going to come down and just close it, go real close. This will cut right to the tip. So let's put a little opening in here so you can obviously see the angle that I'm cutting here is an angle that you couldn't normally do with a regular pair of shears. It just wouldn't allow you that flexibility. So it's a wonderful shear. I want you to try it out, and you'll like it. So let's just finish this off. Again, this is sharp. Once you close that blade, it's going to cut right to the very tips. This is a lot of fun. We have pre-cut Lindsay, so this is all finished up and through here. So if you're going to do any kind of prune cutting, you know, again, just take your shear and look at this, the motion that you can get to this without your arm having to go way up in the air to do your cut. So that's what it looks like. There it is. And you can tighten this as much as you like. All right, it still has a wonderful convex edge right here. It'll really hold it, the sharpness to it. And always try to get it in the same position when you take your hand out so you can palm your shear. Go right back to it. Again, our swivel, double swivel shear. Years ago, it's a wonderful, wonderful story about, you know, the times when there weren't sharpenings around to sharpen your shears. There was a very special piece of cloth, which was leather, and which I'm holding this in my hand right now. That very special cloth is this cloth right here. What you want to do, and I always suggest this after every day of use, is to take your cloth and just go right down at the pivot area and just swing it out. Now, I know you'll find this hard to believe. Not only are you cleaning your shear, but you're keeping that edge much cleaner, and that's going to keep your shear a little sharper as well. So do that after each day, all right? Also in this kit comes your key. Now, some people like their shears a little bit sharper than others. I like mine a little bit heavier so I can feel it when I'm closing it. But if you like a looser shear, then what you want to do is you want to make sure that you understand how your key works. And if you can come in a little closer here, you might be able to see there's two little notches right there. All you want to do is adjust this key right to those two notches and just give it a slight turn, and it will tighten it up. Now also, you'll feel and hear a little click because there's a lock screw inside this that once you set your tension, it stays there. It's not going to come loose. So whenever you fit it, whether it's a loose tension or a tight tension, it's going to stay there. So, and also I want to suggest it also comes with a little tube of oil is right at your pivot area here. It's very smart at the end of, you know, each day, or at least a couple times a week. It's just put a drop in there and just kind of work it in. Not only will you start to see hair come out of there, but it'll also keep your shear much more mobile for a much longer time. So it comes with a lot of nice features that you can enjoy with this shear.